They really get into the gaps. They protect the paint. They're good on the ball. They put pressure on the basketball. They do a good job of containing the dribble. I think their guards have really done some good things out in space of not getting beat. It's not something that happens all the time. It's hard to play one-on-one basketball out in space a lot, but their guards have done a pretty good job with that. But if they do have some struggles, they're normally right in those gaps and making it hard for you to get the ball in the paint, whether that's by a pass or driving. So you definitely have to move them. You have to move them around. You have to kind of create your space and your areas to attack, because if you don't, they're just going to clog everything up and make it difficult for you. So, but they're a good defensive team. They've done some really good things this year against some quality opponents. I would start with Trace Jackson Davis. Obviously he's a great player. He's very unique in his ability to handle it, drive it, get it off the glass, just make plays in and around the rim. And it's not something where he goes down and they anchor him either. They put him in different spots, whether he's on the wing, high-low, being the top guy or the bottom guy. In transition, he's dangerous. But they have, with Al Durham, Armand Franklin, some guys that can score the basketball. Race Thompson has been, vastly improved. I think sometimes you see that with guys that get more of an opportunity. Instead of their minutes in a rotation being a little bit less, it's hard sometimes to just step into that kind of that next phase as a player, and he's been able to do that and have success. When he hits the glass and he scores, it really helps Indiana. Finney had a really good game the last game, against Nebraska. He knocked down some shots that really helps him. And whenever guys, whether that's Durham or it's Franklin or it's Finney, whenever those guys can knock down some shots for him, and Anthony Leal's now playing more, he obviously can shoot the ball well. It really helps them. It helps them have the balance. But when they're beating people on the boards and Trace is getting going and guys are knocking down shots, that's a real healthy recipe for them. And you just can't allow that. You got to try your best to keep them off the glass and keep them out of transition, and also just keep them in front of you. When they're constantly driving the ball and getting by you and you're in help, that's when those bigs are dangerous, whether they dump it down to them or they shoot it themselves and then the rebound balance isn't very good. That's where they can really hurt you. But like any other game going on the road, even though it's a little different, you can't beat yourself. And you can't just let Indiana just do what they want in transition, do what they want on the offensive glass. If you are, then it's going to be a long night for you. So, we have to be good, and Purdue can't beat Purdue just like any other game.
Last thing for me, obviously any road win in the conference is important, but what does a win in Bloomington do for you and do for your program, speaking from past seasons and things like that,
right,
in terms of momentum?
Well, it just, it helps you. We've been on the road for 4 straight games. This is our 4th straight game on the road. And so if we could get that and we split, the road swing the Big Ten put us on, then we split them. We get 2 out of 4. If not, it's 1 out of 4. It's a big difference, even though it's just one game. And so it's now we're gonna have more games at home coming up here after this one, and so hopefully that can help us. But no, you're just looking for quality play more than anything, and a win versus a team that I think is an NCAA tournament team. And so I think Michigan State's an NCAA tournament team. So the more you want these opportunities, and in our league this year, there's a lot of them. But it's also, it's a tough task trying to get a win no matter where it is. Yeah, well, it's like any game. Like now, it's the energy. It's the energy that you bring. You have to continue to be able to do that and get yourself ready to play. But also, I think a lot of it is when you play well and you generate that energy. It's hard to feel good about bad play. And so you got to get out there and be productive and execute and doing your job, and then now all of a sudden the guys coming off the bench feed into that. Everybody on the bench, has life and is cheering for each other, and that's what it's about in this environment. No matter where you're playing, whether you're playing here or not, without fans, I think that's more important than anything.
Every game is its own entity, but can you put your finger on anything individually that has led to your success, to Purdue's success against Indiana in recent years?
Good players, more than anything. I think we've, through the years we've had good players. And whenever we've won the Big Ten championship or got second, we've gotten second a handful of times. You go back and look at our guys, I think collectively, we've played well together. And but I don't think there's one aspect, like, rebounding or three-point shooting or like that. That's, each game's, like you said, is its own entity. And, you just try to prepare and do your best. We've probably got a couple breaks in a couple of those close games. And that's what you have to have sometimes in close games. But no, I think through the years we've had pretty good players at Purdue. And I think anytime you win or have success, I think that's the first place to look. Well, they just, whether it was denying passes in the press by two different people, it was executing a play when Travion got fouled. The second time Travion got fouled, the first time they called it. And then, executing the last play. We're getting fouled in that play by two different guys. And we couldn't even finish our play because they just grabbed us. And Travion was smart enough, because he was the finish of the play, to bounce out of there. So it's great. They're winning plays. All those things I just mentioned are winning plays. Zach getting fouled on the box out, and they don't call that. And him, not fouling and keeping the ball alive, and then Mason diving on the ground without diving on a body to get the ball, to get the jump ball. Like, all those things are winning basketball plays, and it's great to see.